Hello, everyone. My name is Peter McDonald, and I have the pleasure of leading this class for Youth Ministry 302 here at Fruitland Baptist Bible College. And this is for the summer quarter here in July. And we'll be running this class July, August, and first part of September. But I'm grateful, thankful to take this journey with you. And I hope that you all are doing well. And I know that this is a little different than what we're normally on campus for this week, starting this week with classes. But COVID-19, of course, has pushed that back. And so I know this is a little different, a little challenging for everyone. But I am grateful for the opportunity for us to be together on this format, on this platform. So I just want to introduce myself and introduce you to the course so that you all know what's ahead over these next 10 weeks. Like I said, my name is Peter McDonald, and I have the joy of teaching Youth Ministry 301 and 302 on campus and online here at Fruitland. And I also teach counseling when we're on campus, counseling 401 and 402. But I've been at Fruitland now since 2015, and so I'm finishing up my fifth year on campus, fixing to start my sixth year there. Or maybe this is my, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. No, this is my sixth year at Fruitland, and I'll begin my seventh year this coming winter. But I also pastor. I'm a pastor at Midway Baptist Church in Columbus, North Carolina. Been there almost 9 years, and just a great time of ministry there. I love pastoring the people, preaching the word, and leading them in their walk with Christ. We have a great fellowship there. You're more than welcome to come. If you ever find yourself in Columbus, North Carolina, we'd love to have you at Midway. I have a wife. My wife's name is Tara. We've been married going on 13 years this coming December. We have two boys. Sorry for the noise. By the way, we live off the highway, but I like the outdoors. So we have two boys. Micah, he's going to be 9 in a couple of weeks. And then we have Malachi. He'll be 6 in a couple of weeks. They're just a day apart. We also have a little dog. And we reside in an area called Green Creek, North Carolina. I'm a Tar Heel beloved fan of the Tar Heels. Love North Carolina basketball and football. I love to play sports too. I'm into playing basketball. I love baseball, and of course I'm a fantasy football kind of guy. But just some things about me. I enjoy reading. I too am a student, so I can empathize with you students when it comes to the workload. I'm right now working on my PhD with the new Carolina University, used to be Piedmont International University, and I'm with the John Wesley School of Leadership working on a degree in Christian leadership. And I have degrees from Fruitland Baptist Bible College. I have degrees from North Greenville University. I have an MAR from Liberty University or Liberty Seminary, and now I'm working on that PhD. So that's just a little bit about me. I look forward to getting to meet you. I'm sure that I've had some of you in 301, but if I have not had the privilege of meeting you, I do hope I will through this quarter, but also when we get back on campus come October. So my information is located on the syllabus, by the way. I've already posted the syllabus for you to look at. The syllabus is always in transformation, so you have a new edition for this 302 quarter. Hope that you will enjoy it. And listen, before we even start with the coursework, this class is designed for great application. Yes, we have an academic side of things for this class in which there are grades, there are quizzes, there are tests, projects, things like that. But if you're not applying the ministry, applying the content to the ministry, if we're not actively engaged and involved in ministry of our own, I'm afraid that it's just information. So I really want you to take advantage of the opportunities to minister, to serve in your context. Okay, that's what this class is mostly about. It's about the application more so than the academics. It's about the application. All right, we want you to be doing ministry. So 302 is about youth ministry focuses. In 301, we were talking about youth ministry foundations. And so what I did is we talked about the purpose of youth ministry. We talked about how to carry out ministry by building on some foundational building blocks like evangelism, like discipleship and fellowship and service and ministry and leadership. But what we're going to do in 302 is we're going to pay attention, or we're going to focus on some areas in youth ministry that often get overlooked. And I don't want us to do that. I want us to take a look at some of the behind the scene efforts of youth ministry, so that we can have a long lasting student ministry. Okay, so when it comes to the syllabus, when it comes to the things that we're going to be doing, you're going to be studying primarily three textbooks, and you'll notice one of them from 301 is your first 2 years in youth ministry by Doug Fields. We'll be reading selections from every text that we have, by the way, but this one we read half of it in the first quarter. We'll read the other half in this quarter. You're going to need that first 2 years. Also, we're going to have Duffy Robbins' Youth Ministry Nuts and Bolts. This is a classic. Duffy Robinson is a professor of youth ministry at Eastern University in Pennsylvania, but he has extensive research and a great mind in sharing and how to build and manage a student ministry from the ground up. We'll be reading selections from Duffy Robbins' Youth Ministry Nuts and Bolts. And then also, this is often the student's favorite read. This is A Tale of Three Kings, and this has very little to do with youth ministry per se in the vocation of youth ministry. This has to do with submission. In student ministry, the youth pastor is subject to the senior pastor, his leadership, following him, and also he's a servant of the Lord in the local church. And so this is a book about being broken before God so that you can serve alongside of others and underneath others in the ministry. But this is a classic book written by Gene Edwards. You will certainly enjoy it. It follows the story of King David before he was a king, and Saul was after him, and then it deals with King David as king, and then of course Absalom rises up and he wants to take over David's throne. So this is a book about understanding that our ministry is not our own. It's a calling from God. It belongs to God. It's not ours to necessarily protect, as much as it is about trusting in God to fight for us, to protect for us. And if He's anointed us and has called us into the ministry, He will certainly keep us in that place until He's finished with us. So please take the time to read. This is a very short read, but we're going to be doing some things with this book as well. So I'm relational when it comes to ministry, when it comes to this class. I hate the idea that we would just be in, we got a storm coming. I hate the idea of an online class just being, us on a computer and no interaction with one another. So to help the communication, to encourage discussion amongst us, and also give us opportunities to be with each other, talk with each other. I've tried to make this as online friendly as I could and relational as I could. So throughout the quarter, you're going to want to interact with each other through these assignments called Take 5 assignments. So every week, you're going to be given several readings from our required text, and in those readings, you're going to want to answer roughly 5 questions, and that's why it's called a Take 5 assignment. You're going to summarize the week's readings in 5 sentences. You're going to pick out 4 key words that the author seems to dwell on. You're going to take out 3 truths that you took from the text, 2 new things that you learned from the reading selection, and then 1 question you may have for the class to discuss together. Again, this is meant to for one, accountability, to make sure that we're reading the required text, but on the other end, I want to see some discussion with the textbooks that we're reading, and this is a great opportunity for us to interact with one another through that. So do these take 5 assignments. Take you roughly 30 minutes or so to finish a post, but they're due on Friday. The initial post is due on Friday, and then by Sunday of the following week, you're going to want to respond to 2 other classmates. And that means that you don't just say, well, I agree with you or I disagree with you. I want you to have gracious conversation. I want you to share. I want you to share your thoughts on their post and maybe ask them questions, or maybe encourage them, or maybe post an article or two that relates to the topics that they're given. That's how I would love to see you interact with one another. So you have take 5 assignments each week in which you're reading the required textbooks and you're responding to the questions that I ask. Also, through the quarter, to encourage interaction, we're going to have 2 class Zoom conferences on weeks 5 and week 8. Whatever Thursday that is through the quarter, you're going to have an opportunity to interact with me and your classmates. We're going to do roughly a 1-hour Zoom conference. It's going to be 45 minutes to an hour or so, but we're going to just take some time to talk about youth ministry issues that are pertinent to our study, and then any questions that you might have about the class or class work. So those Zoom conferences are just extra opportunities to be together. They're not mandatory, okay? And I know how some students are. Well, if it's not mandatory, I'm not going to do it. It's not so much about you having to do it. It's definitely encouraged, because I want to talk to you all. I want to interact with our class, and I don't know of another way to do it this quarter than to do it this way. So I'm encouraging you. Please take the time to come on the Zoom conference, meet your classmates, talk with me. There's also some ministry to be done too. So please, weeks 5, week 8, consider doing the Zoom conferences. There's going to be some extra credit involved for those who will choose to do that. And then last but certainly not least, you've got a project that's going to be done, or a thesis, presentation, collaboration of things that are going to be due week 9 of class. So the goal of this course is to equip and nurture students to have a heart for ministry so that they will strive to glorify God in every aspect of that youth ministry. So to do that, you're going to want to talk with a youth minister. You're going to want to talk to other students. You're going to want to attend a youth ministry conference. And as you're meeting with those students, as you're meeting with that pastor, as you're going to youth ministry events, you're going to be asking this question: is youth ministry important? Is it vital? Is it necessary for today in the 21st century? That's the main question that we're seeking to answer. Okay, you're asking, is youth ministry essential to advance God's kingdom in the 21st century? And to do that, these projects are going to help you to be able to put together a presentation for the end of the quarter. So I'm going to spend more time talking about that later on. But here's the gist of the project. You're going to want to first submit several, maybe a page or so, 6 to 8 sentences. I don't know, a paragraph. I forgot how I'm sorry. It's roughly a 1-page single-spaced of why youth ministry is or isn't important. Okay, and then your projects are going to back that up. Okay, and so here's how it's going to work. You're going to begin your introduction, and you're going to write out why student ministry is or isn't essential, and then you're going to explain with your experiences that you have with students and parents, youth ministries, and youth ministers, and then you're gonna bring it out in a conclusion. What did you learn? How can you grow from this? Do you feel confident that you're ready for youth ministry if God were to lead you in this field? But you're not going to present me a paper, and you're not going to give me these projects throughout. You're going to do this in one presentation, one video presentation at the end of the quarter. It's going to be 6 to 8 minutes long, and you're going to explain to the class, is youth ministry essential or is it not? And here's why. Here's how I know. Here's why it's not. Okay, you may want to make a case for more family-styled ministry, which we're going to talk about this quarter. Why the family's so important. Why parents being involved in ministry is so important. You may say, you know what, youth ministry is the greatest thing that's ever happened to the church, and here's why. My point, though, is that you're going to be answering that question: is youth ministry essential? Is it not? And then your projects, your experiences with other students, with other ministers, those are going to help fuel your discussion. Okay, so that's the gist of the course. You're going to have quizzes. You're going to have 2 exams. Those are very simple, by the way. And then, of course, we have our lectures or our lessons each week, in which we're discussing different focuses in youth ministry. All in all, I know this might be a little cloudy. My point of this video is to try to make it a little more explanatory, but maybe I didn't accomplish that. I want you to enjoy student ministry. I want you to focus on some areas that often get overlooked, and then I want you to explore this question: is youth ministry essential? Is it not? And there's so much that's in depth to this class. I just pray that it will be a wonderful quarter for you. I hope that you'll enjoy this quarter, and I'm grateful that you're along for the ride. So God bless you all. I'm sure you have questions. I'm available for any questions you may have. Each week I'm posting new video content to help the discussion along. But God bless you all. I'll see you week 1 for class.